Hey, it's Frank here with 4D Honeybee. May, I don't know, 28th or so. Just doing a quick inspection on the hives here because it's been a week since I put a honey super on hive number 1 there, a feeder and a second brood box on hive number 2, and a honey super on hive number 3 here. So I just want to see if the bees have made their way into there. It's been an incredibly hot couple of days here for Toronto. We went from basically winter to the depths of summer. Today is supposed to be 30 degrees Celsius, which is going to be about low 90s, 93, 94, 92 maybe in Fahrenheit. And this hive number 1 here has done a lot of bearding, so there's a lot of bees in this hive, and you can see they're already sitting there at the entrance just waiting to go. Just waiting for the sun to hit them, I guess, and then they'll be very active. So that's a good sign, but it's also a sign that I may need to split that hive because there's a lot of bees and a lot of resources right now. We're in the middle tail end of our first honey flow here, although some people say that in Ontario we kind of get a honey flow all summer long because there's always stuff in bloom, and that's probably correct. You can see we're still into dandelions here, and fruit trees are in full bloom as well. So there is no shortage of resources for these bees now, and now it's just a question of managing the hives to get them doing what's best for them, what's best for you. So we're going to make this a quick one, I hope. I'm not lighting the smoker intentionally, which always ends up being a mistake, but I'm prepared to feed hive number 2, and I just want to do a quick inspection on 1 and 3 and hope that the bees don't get too worked up. It's early in the morning here. That's one factor, is it's like it's about 8:45. I usually don't come out this early because obviously the bees are just starting to forage, and there's still a ton of bees in the hive. So let's just hope they don't get too worked up. Here's a look at the entrance of hive number 1 here. Just find it neat how there's so many bees just sitting there just waiting to get on with their day. Well, just a few are starting to take off. The sun is coming out, but it's still a little while before it'll start hitting the front of the hive. These hives are in full sun most of the time, which is, I find, a really good thing. Okay, let's set up. Just checking this hive to see if they're getting into the top honey box here. Had a bit of a thunderstorm roll through here yesterday, so that might affect them a little bit today. Lots of bees in the upper box here, as you can see. Not so many on the lid, but certainly a lot of bees in that upper chamber. They've already easily found the honey supers there, so any concern that I have about that. I guess the one thing that I'm watching is that I've put a queen excluder on this hive. I've put them on both of my hives that I've put honey supers on. And the first time I did that, the bees did not come up into the honey supers. So I'm having a close eye on that. And I know that some people don't believe in queen excluders, and some do. I'm kind of a mixed mind as well. It didn't work for me the first time, and it's not that it injured bees or damaged bees, it's just the bees weren't coming up into the up in the honey box. So far so good though. It looks like there's a decent amount of bees up here, so I'm just going to close up this box and let them get back at making honey. For this time in the morning, that's a good number of bees. Okay, hive number 2 here, and I just want to see that these bees are feeding, because this is my Costanza hive. The opposite of everything you ever expect to happen happens in this hive. I put these top feeders on that normally equate to a 0 mortality, and unfortunately it has ended up in some dead bees in this hive. Wow, look at this thing right here. I'm just going to show you. It looks like a big nasty beetle. Kind of looks like a ladybug, but it's massive. A lot bigger than a ladybug. Look at that thing. There's one bee around me trying to sting me. It did just sting me in through my suit in my armpit area. Look at that thing. That's probably its nest of little critters there. I'm going to leave this in place because it doesn't look like something that would take on the bees, but it might be good at eating some vermins like mites. You never know. I'll leave the camera here on this angle and see if hopefully this feeder does not have many dead bees in it. No dead bees in it. That's excellent. Okay, that's good. And let's see how they're doing. Yeah, almost all the syrup water is gone. So I'm going to fill it up again. That's a very good sign. And again, in the spring you're feeding them 1-to-1 sugar water. And in the case of this hive, it went into winter with 2 brood boxes going, but it had a family of mice move into the bottom brood box, and they survived. The bees stayed in the upper brood box, the mice lived in the bottom brood box. So anyway, I reduced it to 1 brood box and at the very beginning of the spring, and now I've just added the 2nd brood box. So, and I'm feeding them as well because they went into winter struggling, but they're doing just fine now. So hoping that this hive will be the survivor hive, because it is surviving so far. All right, and then one quick check of the last hive here, just to make sure they're into the honey supers there, and this inspection is done. Okay, last hive inspection for this day. And again, it's a very, very superficial inspection. I'm not meaning to get into the frames. And I mean, you can see I'm trying to determine whether or not the bees are up in the honey super, and you cannot doubt that just by this. Right, so have a look at them too. They're just bubbling out of the hive right now. A lot of bees in here. The stinging bees in here. Alright, so that answers my question. They're definitely here. They're definitely not happy about me breaking up their morning, so we'll get this back on and call it a day. Thanks for joining me at 4D Honeybee.